Alright guys, here's what a whole bunch of y'all have been waiting for. Been planning this out for a few months, and we finally went and picked the truck up this weekend. Got it back to the shop. It was a long trip. So let me turn the camera around and show you guys what I'm talking about. So we finally got this other crew cab second gen back to the shop. This belongs to a customer of mine out in Florida. Me and some friends drove out there this weekend, picked this up and drove it back. I did not buy it. It is a customer's. He's hired me to do the repair work on the cab. And I got it parked here next to my crew cab. Yeah, I know it's in poor shape. I don't have a front axle under it anymore. But anyway, yeah, there's two crew cab second gens sitting next to each other. So I just want to kind of give y'all an introduction video to this. Currently, because this is obviously going on YouTube. Currently, at the time I'm filming this video, it is early to mid December of 2021. I'm not going to be starting on this project until about middle to end of January. Just because this weekend was the perfect time to go get it. But I'm not going to start working on it just because of everything else at the shop. As you can see, there's a ton of other work, and there's even more in the shop, even more behind the shop. There's one right here. Everybody waits in line, just like everybody else. So, like I said, this weekend here, the beginning of December of 21 was the perfect time for us to go to Florida and get it, but I'm not going to actually start on it until middle to end of January of 2022. But anyway, this guy that owns this out in Florida, he contacted me on Instagram several months back and pretty much just said, hey, I've got a crew cab that's about in the same condition that yours is, and I've seen all the metal work you've done, yada yada. I'd like you to do exactly to mine what you did to yours. So I'll just start off by giving y'all a rundown on this thing. It is a 1995 12 valve 5-speed 4-wheel drive. As you can see, interior is pretty bad, but it is a 5-speed 4-wheel drive. Pop the hood. We just drove this thing 1,400 miles back from Florida. It runs and drives amazing. The only issue we had was it clogged the fuel filter up like 2 hours from the guy's house, but we just stopped at an auto parts store and put a new fuel filter on it and cleaned out the pre-screen bowl on the lift pump. Other than that, no issues at all. But yeah, it is a 95 12 valve 5-speed 4-wheel drive. It was originally a single cab cabin chassis truck, which makes it a little harder for me to do what the customer wants done to it, but that's all right. So all of the doors and electric windows work except for this door handle. Oh, never mind. Wow, that's the first time it's worked in 3 days. Take that back. So everything works now. All the power windows work. Cruise control does not work. The AC does not work. It actually works, it only blows through the defrost, and usually on second gens that's vacuum lines, but these are all hooked up right. None of them are dry rotted. So let me turn the key on and I will show you guys, because I know a lot of people want to see crew cab second gens. The interiors in the back seats. So that is a functioning rear power window in a crew cab second gen. We'll go around here to the other side. It is a dually, also 4-wheel drive 5-speed 12 valve dually crew cab. Almost the ultimate truck you would want. This one also rolls down. This one's a little noisy, but it does work. It has tan leather seats, but it has the original red interior otherwise. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. So this seat, if you lift this lever up like that, it folds down into a bed, and it slid all the way, or it slid backwards right now. I need to move it. It's kind of hard to do with one hand and hold the camera. But this does fold down into a bed, and we did use it driving it back. One of us would sleep and one of us would drive. So that's pretty much what everyone wants to see all the time, is the working rear windows and the folding back seats. So now we'll go through what is damaged on this truck. Let me open up both the doors. So it has the typical problem that pretty much every single crew cab second gen has. And this truck is actually in better condition than mine was. Now, I've already fixed everything on mine, I just haven't reassembled it. So I'll go over, and I didn't ever record anything on mine before I fixed it. I just put pictures on Instagram. So this one is pretty much exactly how mine was, but this one is actually in a little bit better shape. So we're gonna start at the front here. So you can see right here where this crack is, and I don't even have to guess. Like, it could be up here, it could be back here. I don't even have to guess, because I know just from that crack. From this point forward is all factory single cab. From right here where it's rusted out, from right here back, this is all the factory part of the single cab. So all these trucks started off as single cabs, and they cut them in half right there, which would be, that would made up to that crack right there. They cut the cab in half, and they added, what is that, 2 feet, 2.5 feet, 3 feet, something like that. The B pillar is completely fabricated by hand. The rear doors are fiberglass. Now, this is only for some crew cab second gens. There was another company that made ones with metal rear doors, and they had a full window that rolled down. They rust out just as bad. For some reason, some people seem to think that they're better if you can find one of those made by that company. They all rust out equally as bad. You just gain a full-size window. So in my opinion, it doesn't really matter which conversion company one you find. But anyway, starting from the front, it has this hump in the floor right here. I don't know if y'all can see that because the vinyl floor is all messy, but it's got that big hump right there. That is the cab mount. As you can see, it's cracked right there, and it is just coming up through the floorboard. Moving on down, all this is good. This is all factory stuff up to here. So you can see where they welded in their piece to convert it. All of this is trash. This is like, it's gone. And remember, this is exactly how mine was over there. So all of that's gone. The underneath is good all the way up until where it got converted. All that's gone. All up through here, the Bondo is cracked, or the body filler, I'll say. This side is actually not as bad, like up through here. It's not nearly as bad as the driver's side. The roof is decent on this side. It's got some cracking here and there, and you know, right here. But that's not a big deal either. Also, in the rear, the cab corner is collapsing on the rear cab mount. As you can see, the whole floor pan and rear cab structure is pretty well shot. So I'll shut those doors. We'll go to the other side. The other side's pretty much the same. I think the driver's side's actually a little worse. Same thing on the driver's side. You can see right where the factory sheet metal ends and where the company put in their conversion 3 feet section. right there. Forward is fine, there's back, and this one's, like I said, this side's a little worse. The yes, truck used to be red. This all this filler in here is cracking off. So, but yeah, all up through here, a little bit of rust, not too bad. All that's cracking. The roof on this side, you can see there's a line all the way across the roof where it's cracking. There's a big bubble right there, and then all of this is starting to rust out along the top here. And same thing with this cab corner. It is pretty well toasted. Cab corner coming apart, cab mount, it's gone. It's funny because the passenger side has a 3-inch body spacer and this side doesn't. That just gives you an idea of how tweaked the cab is. Same thing on this side, a big hump in the floor. It actually makes it really hard to use the clutch. And this side is actually rusting out on the factory rocker panel. So, let's see up under here. Cab mount is coming apart. So, none of this is too hard to fix. It looks bad, but like I said, mine was worse, and I have it looking perfect now. The thing that's going to make this project hard is that this was a cab and chassis truck, meaning it was a single cab with a 10-foot bed. As you can see, this is not a 10-foot bed. So what they did on a truck like mine, that was just a regular single cab with an 8-foot bed, they cut the frame and stretched it, and that's where they got the extra length for the rear doors for the 4-door. On this one, they didn't cut the frame. They just welded on these body mounts back here, notched the interior of the cab for the fuel tank, and there's no bed mounts. So on a regular 2nd gen pickup truck, not a cab and chassis, there'd be a big mount right here that comes up that your bed sits on and it bolts up through there. That makes this one a little difficult because he wants me to single wheel swap it, get rid of the dually, and he wants me to put a bed on it. It looks like a short bed might fit. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm gonna have to do a lot of measuring. I think I'm gonna end up having to cut and stretch the frame just because it looks like a long bed might fit, but it also looks like a short bed might fit. So this is the original frame. You can see they didn't stretch it any. They just notched it for the footwell and then plated it, but they didn't actually stretch this frame on this truck. And these welds are absolutely terrible, I just want to say. But yeah, so like my truck over there, mine, there's a section of frame like 2 or 3 feet where they actually stretched it, and they used, they just pushed the bed back and they put this 2 or 3 foot section in there to extend the cab. This one, they just used the space provided on the cab and chassis frame and made it look like a regular long bed, but took up part of the 10-foot beds, 10 or 12 foot, whatever it was as a cab and chassis, I don't know. So that's going to be a little difficult to put a bed on, but I can work around that. So if anyone, I've never put mine on YouTube before, so if anyone's wondering, I put all new cab corners on mine, and all new rocker panels, and a whole new floor pan. I haven't finished the floor yet. We were messing with it earlier. I haven't finished my floor yet, but the whole structure is there. All I have to do is tie a piece of sheet metal into it. I fixed my cab mount. You can't really see it. I have this 3rd gen mega cab seat in here. Might be able to see it better on the other side. you can see, I put a whole new cab corner. I fixed the cracked body or cab mounts underneath. I've got new rocker panels on it. And I still can't show you how I fixed the cab mount on this side. The seat's in the way. But what I did on mine was I put a whole floor pan from an extended cab in and gained the factory middle cab mount right there. And it's just tacked on right now, but when I get around to building this one, I'll do full-length welds. But that is the factory perch that would be on an extended cab floor. So that's how I fixed mine. That's the reason why they collapsed on the conversions, is because single cabs only have a front and rear mount, and they added 3 feet to the frame, or 3 feet to the cab, and didn't reinforce the middle. So I reinforced the middle of mine so it shouldn't crack again. So the plan on this truck, I'm gonna tear it completely apart. The bed's gonna go, I'm gonna take the bed off. I'm gonna gut the interior, the dash, the seats, the carpet, everything's gonna come out. The doors are gonna come off, and I'm gonna sandblast the entire cab. I'm not gonna do the front clip because it's all good. There's nothing wrong with the hood and fenders. But I'm gonna sandblast the whole shell of the cab. That's one thing I regret not doing on mine, is not sandblasting it, and then, you know, I'd grind away some, you know, body filler or paint, and I'd find more rust, and it was like, well, I'm just gonna put a whole floor pan in it. So I'm gonna start out by sandblasting this one and seeing where we're at on it, and the plan is to start repairing the cab, you know, what it needs, and get it to the same, you know, point that mine is at. And then I'm gonna put them both in the shop side by side and build 2 crew cab second gens side by side. So I just have to get this one caught up to the point of that one first, and then once they're on the same level, then I can do, you know, one thing here, one thing there, one thing here, one thing there, and just they'll come together, you know, at the same time. I'll have 2 of them rolling out of the shop, you know, hopefully. This one already runs and drives, so this one will run and drive out of the shop. Mine will just roll out of the shop. But as far as, you know, body metal work goes, they'll both be getting, you know, built side by side and finished, you know, body metal work wise. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you a little walk around of it. Little rundown on the project. I'm not going to be posting anything about it, like I said, until mid-January, middle to end of January when I start on it. Hopefully I can knock it out in a month or so for this guy. Hopefully get it back to him hopefully by spring, but, you know, sometime in the summer at latest. We'll just have to see what all it ends up needing. So yeah, there it is, guys. 2 crew cab second gens.